Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Hope you have a wonderful day. In today's video, we're gonna go through the back to the basic. One of the questions being, I guess, when it comes to budgeting. There's a post that I saw on the internet. It's somewhat interesting. It might be relevant to any of you guys who is studying on the budgeting. And this is based on my intake, my personal experience of it. The question goes, what are some budgeting mistakes you have encountered? Some of the answers is kind of relevant, I guess, and from a personal experience, they somewhat is true. So I'll read out some of the comment. For example, not keeping a track on your expenses. I did that when I first started trying to understand my money and where to go. And some days it's like week in, week out, especially when you get paid weekly. You kind of, if you don't have a track of your expenses before at the end of the week or before you pay it, let's say you've only got a few $100s left, and it's gonna, it's sort of like hurt. It's like, where all my money go? That's definitely a thing. Sometimes being reactive or too tight can mess up your budget. Again, I went through the same thing. When I first started doing FIRE journey or personal finance, let's say, I was too rigid with my budget. Because of that, I ended up, I guess, messing it up and ended up wanting to give up because I feel like it doesn't work. But doing the same thing as well is you kind of realize where you at financially or where you at in terms of the budget. And you should adjust accordingly based on your lifestyle, so that way it's not stressing you a lot, but at the same time you're making a progress. What I found that works is like that balancing, but you can only do that if you're going through the motion, the rhythm of it. And it might take you time, and that time could be, it's up to you. For me, it took us roughly about 3-6 months or so to get a hang of it, and now we've been doing it regularly enough that we keep track on it as we go along. The other one is not having enough emergency fund in place in case of emergency. We're having that problem right now. So we thought we have enough when it comes to pay taxes, but tonight it's not enough. I thought I budgeted correctly based on our income and expenses and what we've gone through in the past 2 years, or in the past year, sorry. Because we sell our assets, we have to actually pay taxes on that, and it is pretty hefty amount. Based on my numbers, it turned out to be that we're still short, and we're even considering of doing a payment plan, but did not know that if you do making a payment plan, there's actually interest added towards it. So instead of having that leeway of using the interest or making a payment on interest plan on a payment plan, let's say, with our taxes, unfortunately we're going to liquidate one of our account and to pay off our tax bill, let's say. Another one would be don't only make budgets for the present, always budget ahead and the future. Now that goes back to my current scenario where we didn't actually plan enough, let's say. As much as I plan, sometimes the plan doesn't go according to plan, if that makes any sense. Another one would be not regularly reviewing your budget. Like for me, we tend to review ours quite frequently, as in minimum is once a week or once a fortnight. At the very basic overview, if we're really busy, it's once a month. That's definitely, it's a must. Using extra income as fund money instead of budgeting it wisely. Now, for some, if you have excess income, great, and that you can actually have a fiddle room, let's say, but for some, you might need that extra income to have a, I guess, consistent income. With the extra income, I treat that as a bonus. What we usually do if we have that extra income, we actually put it away, or have a small portion of that for fund money, let's say, and then the rest of them goes to investing or paying off bills. So Another one would be stop creating unrealistic budgets for yourself while budgeting. That goes again, it will be a struggle. I think we've gone through it beforehand. It will be a struggle, and you sort of given up if it's not realistic. I nearly given up when I first started doing that, and I found that if you know how to do it correctly, it should empower you, and it should be something that you envision what it looked like in future you and what you're trying to achieve. It's not supposed to be something that is burdening you and make you, I guess, sad in a way. Another one is, what is it? You will counter some problems in your budget when you don't make an adjustment. I found that the hard way when we first started this, like, oh, I should be able to save this amount per week or per month or whatever per pay cycle. But then I realized certain things happen in your life that is out of your control. Like a friend of ours, for example, have a family emergency that threw you out of whack, and that would be part of your budgeting, and it would blow up your budget because you have to fly from one area to another, and now we're actually going to have family member coming over here because they're coming from overseas, and because they're coming here for a certain number of time frame, let's say, we might have to take time off work. So again, that threw us out of whack for our January budgeting. So you will have to maneuver as you adjust accordingly, let's say, until such time you've got enough certain buffer. So definitely my one would be, the biggest intake is have a buffer. What we found is, let's say once you've got enough your emergency fund, you've got a buffer of extra on top of your emergency fund that could go towards I guess other things that you think is unforeseen. My one is definitely, my biggest intake was paying off the taxes. That was a big, I guess, lump sum that I have to pay. We thought we had enough, but unfortunately we didn't. So and I guess that's the other thing. If you are, I guess, in a business, or you've got a certain number of assets, and if you are selling it off, you're expected to pay tax on capital gain, especially here in Australia. Be mindful, don't liquidate and then expecting to not pay anything out of it, or if not, I thought I have enough, and instead of dumping it in the market, now we're actually going to take it off from the market. That's just my 2 cents, guys. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, comment. I'll see you on the next video.